Good morning, everyone. We have a special day planned today where we're going to be talking about Orbit Kit and Merch Wizard, and especially the integration between Merch Wizard and Orbit Kit. So I'm very lucky that both Jeff and Rick have agreed to come on today and talk to us about it, because we've had a lot of questions in the group about how to set up these tools and what are the benefits of them and how do they work. So we're going to be diving in today on all of those questions and get all the answers for you guys. So Jeff is here with us at 7 in the morning where he is. So thank you so much, Jeff.
Yeah, you're welcome. It's all right.
He's like, let me get some coffee first. Well, just to start off, I love using Orbit Kit. It took me a while to start using it. I signed up whenever it first came out. When did it come out? Like 2 years ago, a year and a half? Orbit Kit?
2 years now, I think.
Oh, I think we're freezing a little bit, but okay. I tried to do it back then and I just got confused and I ended up not using it. And then Merch Wizard came out and I saw the integration. I was like, okay, let me try this again. And I tried it again and it has been amazing ever since. It's so easy to use. I love it. And so now I'm finally getting products on all the other platforms instead of just Merch. So it's really, really helpful when you want to expand and use those designs everywhere instead of just using them on Merch. Right? So can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you're okay. I assume you can hear me all right.
Yeah, I can hear you okay. It froze for like a minute, but it seems like you're back. So, well, tell us a little bit about Orbit Kit. How did you start it? How did you decide to launch it?
Sure. So it seems like a lifetime ago.
I know.
My partner Ray, there's two of us, myself and Ray Vandervoort. We built Gear Launch, which is a POD platform in the space, one of the bigger POD platforms in the space. And when we left that company, we kind of looked around and said, well, what do we want to do next? We talked to a couple big sellers, and they and like, what problems do you have? What could we solve with software? And the unhesitating answer was, well, we're making a lot of money on merch. Well, variable amounts of money on merch. They used to be super huge sellers on merch, but merch goes up and it goes down and it goes up, and the algorithms change. Who knows? Yeah. They want to be able to organize their designs and get them up everywhere, not just on merch. There's a lot of PODs. Platforms in the marketplace. Customers are fickle. You never know where's going to sell, what's going to sell where. And if you want to do that, if these guys had hired, they'd hired VAs to upload, their tens of thousands of designs, and that was just not cost effective. And it was incredibly painful. It was a management problem. It was a trust problem. So Ray and I looked at each other and said, well, sure, we can do this. We sat down. I'm
so grateful to have, just interrupt for 1 second. I'm so grateful to have people like you that can just think like, oh, of course, we can build an automation tool to handle that. Because somebody like me, I just would assume like, oh, there's no solution to this problem. The only way is to upload manually. Like I wouldn't have even thought of automating it. So I'm so grateful that there's people like you that know how to do things like this. Anyway, continue.
Thanks. I wish I could say, oh, it's easy, but no, it's not.
Yeah.
So we started out, when we originally, the minimum viable product, I think we ended up with three platforms that we exported to. I think that was Cafe Press, Redbubble, and Spreadshirt. But that was a couple years ago. We launched the product. After a long trial period with these pilot customers, our partners, and then we've been adding features and new platforms ever since. And that's just I say that there's two of us. We're the software developers. We get up every day. We work on Orbit Kit full time. And we both love writing software. We're not actually sellers ourselves. We're we're pretty. I think we would starve if we had to make a living, selling designs or anything like that.
Yeah.
But we love writing software, and we listen to our customers a lot. We spend, we're both in the. There's a real-time chat in the application. We're talking to our users all the time, and pretty much everything in OrbitKit is something that someone has requested, usually as multiple people have requested.
Yeah.
And that's our life.
That's what's so exciting about this community. Like, everybody just works together and communicates and talks with each other and finds, like, if they can't figure out something, they find someone who can. Like you, for instance. Like, there's no way. Like, the idea of software being fun. Like, there's no way. I had to take a programming class in college to graduate from the business school. It was like there was one class required that had to do with programming. I had to drop it before, like, the last day you could drop it without, like, having the grade count. I dropped it and then applied again. Like, it was so hard for me. And my dad, his entire job is a computer programmer, but I did not get that gene at all. So it was, and for anybody watching, like, sometimes it seems intimidating when you log into OrbitKit, like, figuring out how to set it up. And I just want to say, like, if I can figure it out, literally anyone could figure it out, because for me, it's really, really difficult to do anything with computers at all. So so that gives everybody hope. Like, if I can do it, anyone can do it. And that's why we're having this day to figure it out, because it's worth it to go through setting it up, because the amount of time you'll save is just astronomical. And this is the perfect time in September. Like, you really want your designs up before Q4, because this is the peak time where you're going to be having sales on all those other platforms. So so wait, do you have anything else to say about that? I know you guys have expanded so much. How many platforms do you have now?
Oh, I don't actually know the answer to that question. I think 9.
It's quite a bit. I
want to say.
I know since I've been on, you added Printful, and I don't even think I've set Printful up yet, which is ridiculous. But with the integration with Printful is amazing, because once you have your designs up on Printful, it can be pushed so many places. So Etsy, eBay, Wish, right? I don't know. There's so many.
Yeah,
Amazon.
Amazon. Yeah, they do. They go almost everywhere. And we also are trialing right now an integration with Printify, which is sort of like another Printful.
I didn't even know that. That's awesome.
Yeah, they're working with us, which is fantastic, to build an API for us.
Nice.
And it's we sort of soft launched it, which means you can actually activate it within the you can actually use it right now, but we haven't announced it because there's still little bugs and things that
here you go, guys. You heard it here first.
But
nice.
if you we have a lot of documentation. We consider the documentation to be an essential part of the product, and there's integration notes that are available for every platform, and kind of tells you, what are the rough edges, what are the smooth edges, how does the positioning logic work, things like that.
Yeah. So let's before we go into that, let's talk about. I remember when it first came out, there was people concerned, including myself, about whether it was okay. Like, I don't know how it started, why we worried about it, but it was like a worry, like, is it against the terms of service of all these different platforms to have like a automated way to upload to these platforms? So it's been around for however long, 2 years or whatever. So I think it's less and less of a concern, because everybody's been fine. But can you address that? Like, some of the platforms you work directly with, right? They know you're using.
Yeah, some of them we've worked with directly, and most of them, though, we just, we don't really discuss it. The truth is these platforms don't even know themselves how they feel about this. A long time, I'm serious.
Very good point.
Part of it is, these are not these are not like single people, single minds. They're big corporate organizations with little warring factions within them. And a long time ago, if you were automating uploads to one of these platforms, you were probably a pirate or a bad actor, what they considered a bad actor, because they would get a lot of spammy IP infringing designs from various places. So they're like, oh well, we don't want any of this, and almost all of them were like, nope, terms of service, you can't upload these sorts of things. The truth is that's softened quite a lot because, first of all, company like OrbitKit's not the only company doing this, and all of them are. We and everyone else are very aggressive about making sure that the IP infringers are not using our product. So yeah, I mean that's the first rule of OrbitKit is don't use don't be a pirate.
Don't be a pirate. Yes.
Yeah, be a good guy. It's that simple. So fast forward a couple years, these companies, they know about us. People have asked, like for example, Redbubble, who has like the hair trigger auto ban system. Like if you even just like log in from a bunch of different countries, they'll like automatically ban you. Or if you upload a bunch of duplicate designs, they'll just auto ban you. And it's not even like there's no human oversight. It's just like some little algorithm somewhere decided, oh well, freeze them and then let them plea for
That's a really
letting
good
it back in.
That's a really good point that OrbitKit's probably safer, because if you have VAs uploading from other countries, that's a bigger trigger than actually using OrbitKit for getting banned.
Yeah, definitely. And the other thing, don't upload duplicates. That's considered an abuse in the system. And and what's actually one of the things that OrbitKit helps a lot with, even if you have designs on like Redbubble or Spreadshirt, we can actually import those directly into OrbitKit, and it'll create all the records, what we call exhibit records, so that we know what's up there already. So you don't accidentally end up, did I upload this thing already? Do I have to go search for it? No, OrbitKit will prevent that from being published multiple times.
So for me, before I even uploaded to any other platform, OrbitKit was how I did it. So I had to actually create the accounts. I didn't have designs up already. But for those of you that are watching, if you already have designs up on all these platforms, that's a really big benefit that you can download those so that you don't have duplicates. So OrbitKit will know that the designs are already up there.
Yeah, we can. We'll do. So we do actually kind of a lot of hand-holding for. I would probably describe it as for our users. If you have your design information in pretty much any kind of structured format, we'll run an import for you.
Oh wow! I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I mean that's how the Spreadshirt and the Redbubble import started. We've also done imports from single upload. We've done import from various like Airtable formats. Honestly, if you have it in a database, we'll get it. We'll write a little bit of custom code for you and get it in. Like our mission in life is to reduce the amount of button clicking in the universe. So
I love it. I love it. And now I'm aware of things like that, because for me, I didn't even like think about automation at all until I started using OrbitKit. And then I'm like, wow, the amount of time it saves is just so astronomical. So now I think about other things in my life or in print on demand, where I'm like, I wonder if this could be saved or that could be saved time. So much can be automated.
Well, yeah, write to us. Let me know. We can. I say everything in OrbitKit was built in response to some sort of some request, something that somebody needs to do. So
perfect. So guys, if you're watching the replay or if you're watching now, put anything in the comments if there's anything that you love about OrbitKit, or if you have any questions, or if there's anything holding you back from using it. Definitely put all that in the comments. But do you by any chance have a way to show us OrbitKit or do any kind of demo, or you're not set up for that today?
I didn't. Unfortunately, I didn't hear any of that. It cut out.
Oh, do you have a way to show us OrbitKit on your screen, just for anyone that's like not aware of what it is, or anything like that?
Yeah, let's do a little demo here.
Perfect.
Okay. I've never used here, so let's see. Share screen button.
Okay, it should say like share screen, and then I just add it. So,
Right. Application window, share.
And Teresa's
All
saying
right.
if I have all my, oh yeah, there we go. Before you start real quick, Teresa had a question. She said, if I have all my designs in Merch Wizard and Airtable, you will run a custom code to import for me. And Merch Wizard already has an integration, so.
That's right. So we actually, we OrbitKit have a public API, well, public, a user API that you can, that allows you to automate adding things. So if you are a programmer or have access to programmers, you can actually write some code that will manipulate your OrbitKit library. And the Merch Wizard folks, we actually built this API out for the Merch Wizard folks.
Nice.
Initially, they use that to automatically push, and you can resync as well, your Merch Wizard library into OrbitKit.
Yeah. So guys, we're going to be going live with Rick right after this, so sometime around 11 a.m. So we'll go into more detail about the Merch Wizard and OrbitKit sync. But yeah, so this is what OrbitKit looks like. We can see your screen now.
Yeah, all right, I'll switch over here. So let me, I'll start. I'm just going to do the most boring thing possible, which is to import some files. And here, these are, let's just import a few of these. Hopefully this won't kill my uplink. And start the upload.
There you go. See, duplicate detected, so it catches stuff for you guys.
Right. We only let you upload something once, so
that's
actually,
amazing.
So actually, what I uploaded the wrong files. What I really wanted to do was upload the ones with the light background.
And guys, for Merch Wizard, they also have like a little icon that shows you which designs you've pushed over to OrbitKit. So that is really helpful as well.
Here, let's just upload a few of these.
Teresa's saying that we keep freezing. She doesn't know if that's her connection or us. I'm not sure either. That was happening a little bit. I don't know. Could be my computer. Could be Jeff's. Who knows? But we'll do the best we can.
I left San Francisco and I now live in the country.
Oh, okay.
So my internet connection bounced off of several hillsides.
Got it.
Not the fastest thing in the world.
That's okay. We will make do. It's so nice to have you here today.
All right, so I uploaded some designs. Again, talk to us and we will figure out how to get your design library into the system. You can upload this stuff all by hand or not. We're trying to make it easy for you. All right, so simplest thing here is there's this sort of search bar. And the very first thing you want to do is let me take a step back and say what OrbitKit is. OrbitKit is a digital asset management library for your designs. It is a way, it securely stores and lets you organize all the metadata, that is the titles, tags, and descriptions, and some other things like you can set whether they're mature or not, a few other flags for your designs. It's sort of like this one repository for all of your designs. Once you have that, the obvious thing that you can do is now publish it to a variety of POD platforms. So, so the first thing you want to do is upload your designs and organize the metadata. Here, let me. You can search first thing is finding and selecting and searching. Maybe I'll do a little quick tutorial on selecting and searching. So obviously searching for tags is pretty straightforward. Let's see. You can do, obviously click into these. So you might want to like add another tag to this. You can edit these one at a time or not. You can actually edit them in bulk as well. So part of our mission is you don't have to click through every single design and edit them. Here's, I've selected the ones that have dad. I'm going to edit these, and I'm going to add the father tag in English to all of these designs. All right, and that's been done. And now you can see, oh, there's the tag. There's a bunch of things. So one of the things, the way this works, and this is sort of like the key to this, is whatever you're looking at, whatever you're searching for, is by far is what's selected. So if I'm not searching for anything, I've got 24 designs in my little miniature test library here. If I search for dad, it's telling me I've got 4 designs selected. So this is now what is affected by these commands. So I can now do these bulk changes, adding tags, descriptions. I can delete them. We'll talk about archetypes later. And if you wanted to only do a few of them, you can actually click on these little checkboxes here. And now I've got 2 designs selected. And it will only affect those designs. So the searching and selecting is really the sort of the key to mastery of OrbitKit. All right, and you can change the sort order if you wanted to do that. Okay.
I love that, by the way, that you can edit in bulk like that. That is really helpful.
Here is, just to give you some help, there's a bunch of things that you can search by. Obviously, you can, tags is sort of an obvious option. You can, excuse me. We'll talk about searching by our archetypes and searching by archetypes later. You can search by what's been published where, special flags. So there's a bunch of things that you can search up here. The simple obvious thing would be not dad. So all of your not dad designs.
You can do that?
Oh yeah, the exclamation mark.
Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm learning. Anytime I do a live, I learn something. I did not know that.
Yeah, no, there's help videos in our system. I think I added one. I don't know, maybe a couple months ago, that was on searching, selecting. That basically explains all of it, kind of walks you through this.
Speaking of
process.
that, do you care if I add some of those videos into a watch party that we're going to do later on today, like to help people learning how to do all the different things?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
You can even link directly to them.
Okay.
If you click on this, it will. This is all public. Actually,
Okay.
the platform integration notes is not
okay. Whatever's public,
but everything else is public. You'll see all the video. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
perfect.
All right. Next step. So this is after you've.
Teresa, we'll pause for just a second. Teresa's saying, "Oh, I have to create tags for all my designs in order to use OrbitKit." Teresa, for all the other platforms except Merch, they use keywords to help people find designs. So keywords is really helpful. It helps people find your designs. Merch, you kind of have to like put it in the description. It's I kind of wish Merch would have keywords so that it'd be a little easier to target customers. But we'll go over on the Merch Wizard side how to do it quickly. I have about 10,000 designs or so, and I was able to create the tags. So it's very possible.
Yeah, and some platforms like Spreadshirt actually require 3 tags, a minimum of 3 tags.
Yeah.
So yeah, tags are important. We have a requirement: we won't publish anything without at least 1 tag.
Okay.
Because that's most of the platforms have a requirement of at least one tag. If you want to make this easier, so another way of editing, usually I talk about this a little bit later, but this might be a good time. If you really want to edit everything at once and don't want to use finding the UI a little bit harder than you would prefer, you can download all the metadata as a CSV file. Oh, sure, why not? I'll click this. And then this is going to open up in numbers or something like that, and it's going to be a different window, and you're not going to be able to see it. But in any case, it opens up. It'll open it in a spreadsheet, and then you can edit the anything the titles, tags, descriptions, and then you can upload it back into OrbitKit, and it will update everything in OrbitKit. So there's a lot of ways for you to do your work.
Oh, this is a good point. Elva said your tags are your keywords, so don't do multiple one-word tags. For example, you could do GIF for dad instead of just dad. That works, right? You could do more than one word, or
yeah, you can. I mean, you can,
and that's good to remember because I forget to do that.
Pets. Yeah. OrbitKit tags are all don't have spaces in them. They have dashes, but when they get published to the platforms, they get converted back to spaces.
Perfect. Okay.
And the reason for that is just to make it easier to search. So otherwise, you're going to have to. If we allowed spaces, you have to have quoting rules and weird things like that for searching.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. There's maybe you guys would know better than I whether that actually works. Having, I see some people just have straightforward tags, and some people have, they try and fit as many words as possible into each tag. And I've noticed that some platforms, I think Redbubble in particular, is starting to crack down on that kind of thing, on sort of a lot of wordy like wordy tags that are just trying to do keyword stuffing. But this is really almost you're going to be more of an expert than I am in this sort of thing.
Yeah, SEO is something where I feel I would rate myself like somewhere in the middle, like moderate understanding of it, because I think it varies a little bit from platform to platform exactly how they handle keywords and searches and all of that. So that is just like how we're doing an OrbitKit Merge Wizard Day. We're going to do an SEO day at some point because I myself want to learn more about it, and I know a lot of people do. So
yeah, I think I'll you let me know when that is, and I'll watch it too.
Perfect. There you go.
All right, so you've uploaded some designs. You've got the metadata the way you like it, and you want to actually publish it somewhere. Well, I'm going to start with a sort of a simplified version of how that works. So let's start. Let's say you wanted to publish, like really simply, I'm going to publish one design.
Okay.
Probably not something you would ever do because OrbitKit's really designed for publishing lots of things at once. But let's just
Trust me, I have published one design.
Not a problem.
Some people have to go step by step slow. So guys, if that's you, that's definitely me. So don't worry.
All right. So the simplest possible way, again, this is not what you normally do, but you can manually exhibit this. And now you pick a blueprint and a blueprint. Talk about what a blueprint is. In fact, let's go look at that blueprint.
Yeah, so guys, when you're first setting it up, you have to set up the archetype and the blueprint. And that's the part that's like intimidates a lot of people. But once you do that, one day is so easy after that. So yeah, go ahead.
Right. So, well, here, let's look at Cafe Press. No, that's not like it. Let's see. I don't want to type in my password into this thing. Let's look at Redbubble. So here's a Redbubble blueprint. This is a product that I've already set up at Redbubble. And it's still loading. All right. So I've enabled just a couple shirts in this one, but I could enable all the products here. We support everything that Redbubble supports.
So guys, enabling means that in the future, when you do a design, it's going to go on that product. So a lot of these platforms have many, many, many products. You might not want your design on a bedspread, or you might not want it on like a bathing suit, or one example would be you don't want it on like an alcoholic beverage thing if you're doing kids designs. So you're not going to necessarily enable every single product because it might not apply to your design.
Right. And actually, to give you a little, here, there's one cool thing that we can do, which is, so if you set this as a mature design, OrbitKit will not only set the flag in Redbubble supports the flag, and I think Fine Art America supports the flag. It says this is an adults-only design, and will automatically skip the child products like the kid hoodie and the kid shirts and stuff like that.
That's good to know.
So you don't have to create a separate blueprint for kids.
Got it. Okay.
So yeah, maybe if you're coming from merch, most of these, there's kind of two. Let me describe that. There's sort of two ways that these POD platforms seem to work. If I'm going to roughly separate them into two categories, for Redbubble and Spreadshirt and Cafe Press and Teespring and most of the platforms, you upload a design and then you say, oh, I want this design to be on a bunch of t-shirts, tank tops, and you sort of like pick all the things and the color that they go on one thing that's for sale. And then there are like Shopify, on each product, like a t-shirt or a tank top, are sort of things that are for sale, Zazzles like this as well. We support both of those approaches. So if you're coming from Amazon, this might feel a little bit weird, this enabling of products, but this is actually how most of the POD space
and Amazon is starting to be like that. They have a multi-uploader now where you can enable or pick whichever product you want. So we're starting to get used to it now.
Okay. Great.
And Teresa, sorry, really quick. Teresa's saying, do you have OrbitKit for Dummy videos? And basically, yes. Yeah, he says yes. I would say that they are not for dummies. Like you have to, if you're somebody like me, you have to pause the video. You have to go slow. But he does go, I mean, the videos are step by step by step. So if you just take your time, I set aside a whole afternoon, got a cup of coffee, found a relaxing place to sit, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this. And you just watch one video at a time and do each step, however long it takes you. Like start the video over again, do this, whatever you gotta do. It took me all day. But for someone who knows how to do computer stuff, it probably would not take that long. But don't worry, anyone can do it because I was able to do it.
Yeah, there's a series of videos. We recommend that you watch them in order. It's you try and build when trying to build a product for a community like this, you have to, like, there's sort of this continuum from making it super incredibly easy to use but doesn't do much, and really, really sophisticated but really hard to use. And we've tried to pick something in the middle. It's not like a one step at a time kind of thing. It's not a wizard that just that holds your hand through every process. It's the kind of thing, if you're then you kind of need all the power user features.
Yeah.
Or trying to make a living with this sort of thing. You need a lot of these power user features. So we make videos to explain the new features, but also if anything's confusing at all, if you're struggling, you just click on this little button right over here, this little chat window, and start talking to us. Hi Jeff.
I like how you're
We are
demonstrating.
online at very least 9 to 5 Pacific time, but actually usually much more often than that.
If they're not online, it sends them an email and they can get back to you pretty quickly. So
yeah, I'll get back to you. Like it's so I happily help people out.
yes, they're awesome.
I like talking to people because I learn what people are struggling with, what features are too complicated, what needs explanation, what needs to be changed.
If you
kind of thing. So.
If you find that a lot of people have trouble with a certain area or video, just let me know, because I can help with. I helped Rick with making videos like really dumbed down for people that have trouble with technology, because I have so much trouble with technology. So I'm like the translator for people who don't understand. So let me know. I could help. I could help do videos for the beginner series.
Well, yeah, maybe we should talk, because those videos are hard to make.
It's hard when you understand it, because it's like it just comes out of your mouth, like just words that are like, what does that mean? So let me know. I can help.
Yeah, when you talk about, you'd hate to be a programmer. Well, running podcasts and making videos would, like, for a life, would mortify me.
Yes.
It's a struggle for me, but we do it because it's important, and software that doesn't get used is no fun.
Right.
All right, where was I? I think we were talking a little bit about blueprints. So blueprint is a product that you've set up just the way you like it. So maybe you want, usually people sell all the products. There's very little reason to not sell a product here. Like, sure, sell A-line dresses and stickers and phone cases. Why not? You never know what's going to sell. And what colors are you going to sell them on? So this is a blueprint for black background products. How much are you going to charge for them? So what's your markup for these? You can set the markup here in this, and then you've got some funkier things that you can do in here too. Like let's say we wanted to add clocks. I love clocks. You can, here's a repeating pattern. Here's okay, I guess I have a background color of red. You can choose the frame color, hand color. So there's a bunch of, like, some of these products have more features than others, but this is the thing. In your blueprint, just set it up the way you want it. Here, did I enable this? Is this enabled?
In general,
turn that. Let's enable it. Oh, it is enabled.
Yeah, in general, you want to set up like a blueprint for everything with like white font on dark backgrounds, and then one with dark font on white backgrounds, because it'll be different colors you select.
On dark shirts, dark backgrounds, and then some designs to look better on light ones.
Right.
So you got your product set up exactly like it.
You're freezing up just a little bit.
And here, here's a black star. I'm going to show creating a blueprint in order.
Okay, perfect.
So this is what you do. You the edit page for one of the designs. Just copy the URL, go back to our kit, add a blueprint, save it. And here we are. I'm going to name this blueprint light fabrics. Dark designs go on light fabrics. And you know what? Why don't I?
Teresa's saying not all designs work on all products. If you create a blueprint, can you not change it for a particular design? Teresa, we're trying to automate it so that you don't have to go design by design by design. So you want to make a blueprint that'll work for most of your shirts or most of your designs.
You can have, as you can see right here, you can have multiple blueprints. So if you needed 3 or 4 or 5 different blueprints to describe your designs, you can do that. Absolutely.
So the normal, like the basic ones are like dark background, light background, and then sometimes if you want to do something for like light or dark, or if you want to do for kids or something like that, those would be examples.
All right, so let's manually exhibit this. So here's our. Well, let's see. I'm sorry. What was I looking at here a moment ago? This is a text, so we want a dark background.
Right.
Dark fabrics. All right. So this is now an exhibit that's queued up. Sometime in the next, there's no guarantee exactly when it will happen, but sometime in the, it depends on how busy the system is right now. It'll go to publishing. Let's go take a look here. Still waiting. I can probably kick that thing off. And it will publish. We'll come back to this in a little bit.
And you can load up your queue with however many designs you want. Like I'm on the plan where you do 5 a day, but sometimes I can schedule way more than that in a day and just let it go all week.
So let's in fact, let's do that. Let's queue up a bunch of these. So here are let's see. We want to take all the ones that were that are on light colors. Now they don't actually have any keywords or tags in common, but I did upload them all together. So I'm going to select the batch. So these are all the designs that I uploaded in one upload session, which just happens to be the all the ones that were on light designs on dark backgrounds. And I'm going to manually exhibit these. There we go, to dark fabrics. And there we are. So look at my dashboard here.
So just like that, you did 12 designs uploaded to like 8 different platforms on hundreds of different products.
Yes.
With one click.
Yes. Well, these didn't have hundreds of different products, but they could easily. It doesn't, whether it was one product or hundreds, it doesn't. Yeah.
Compared to merch, a lot of products.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they do actually have quite a few different products. Redbubble.
Yeah. Something like Zazzle has so many products.
Okay. So we'll come back to this in a little bit and see whether it's done publishing. So that's sort of the simple manual publishing. This kind of thing can get a little bit tedious. You want to have to constantly, like, every time you upload some stuff, figure out which blueprints to use. You know, after, say, we've got like 8 or 9 different platforms, it can get sort of tedious figuring out all this stuff. So we had this idea of archetypes. An archetype is you can say you can do this manual exhibiting, no problem at all. If that works for you, Great. But most people are using archetypes. Now, an archetype, let's call this one dark fabrics or light fabrics, whatever. We'll make one of each. Let's see real fast what I've got 2 of. Dark fabrics. Great. All right. So let's edit this archetype and let's add 2 blueprints to it.
I think you cut off just a little bit when you were explaining what an archetype is. So basically an archetype is, well, you explain it. I don't want to say it wrong.
So an archetype is a group of blueprints. So we've created a new archetype here, and we're going to add some blueprints to it. All right. So instead of, let's add the dark fabrics across. If I had all the other platforms set up here, I could add the dark fabrics blueprint to this archetype. It's
basically just grouping them all together. So each blueprint that you have on each platform that's all for dark shirts, you put them all together, and then you have an archetype of dark shirts, right?
Right.
Yes.
So now, for my designs, let's see. Let's pick these. Let's pick these light-colored items again. Select them out. And I'm going to set an archetype.
Teresa said archetypes are like subcategories. Archetypes are just like you set up a dark color background blueprint for each platform one at a time. So let's say you have 8 platforms and all of them have that blueprint of dark shirts. You just kind of group them all together. So your archetype is dark shirts. So every time you select that archetype of dark shirts, it's going to find all those blueprints you set up on all the other platforms. So you don't have to click 8 times to select 8 different blueprints. You just select dark shirts, and it selects all those blueprints from all those platforms.
So here I'm setting this archetype, and now these designs have an archetype. And now what OrbitKit is going to do is it's going to force all of these designs to have exhibits for each of the blueprints in the archetype. What this means is you now don't have to think about, well, if I upload a design, is it a light fabric design or is it a dark fabric design? Oops, hold on a second. Got some background noise here. People are making coffee.
Thank you for waking up so early. I'm so sorry.
No problem.
Totally forgot you're on the West Coast.
Okay, so let's see, where was I? All right, archetype. So yeah, now reload that here. We can see. Let's see, what's in there? Did I? All right, we can see now that OrbitKit's actually starting. Sometimes it takes a little. It can take a few minutes to process. You can see some of these are getting it has the Cafe Press exhibit and a Redbubble exhibit. So like this guy has, oh, I guess our we can go look and see our published design is ready at Redbubble already. So now we have a Cafe Press exhibit. It's getting published to Cafe Press and it's getting published to Redbubble. And then if I were to add more blueprints to this archetype later, I don't need to go back and tell my, sorry.
You're fine.
I need to sit down here. There we go. I don't need to sit down and figure out, okay, which designs need this new blueprint. So let's say I add Spreadshirt later, a Spreadshirt blueprint. All I have to do is add the Spreadshirt blueprint to the archetype, and then all of the designs that have that archetype. So let's say I add a dark fabrics blueprint, Spreadshirt blueprint to my dark fabrics archetype. Now all of my designs that are have the dark fabrics archetype will get published to Spreadshirt.
Yeah.
Maybe that's this is sort of the advanced stuff that maybe I'm jumping into the deep end of the pool.
No, I
a
think
little
you've
too
done
fast,
a good job.
but
I think people are following along. You've done a great job. We are getting close to the hour though, and I know Rick has to go on at 11 because it's like 6 hours ahead for him, and he's got stuff this evening. So, so we got 10 more minutes. Is there anything else that you really want to make sure people know about, or
sure.
Anything like that?
Yeah. Well, let me tell you that. Yeah, probably one of the most important things is that that this stuff is all as live as possible. One of the coolest things about OrbitKit is that if you go through later, here, let's look at this and see. All right, we've published our all about my cats. All right, so here's this design that's been published on these products. Let's say later you realize, well, sure, you're missing a tag, right? Oh, I had a great idea for a tag, and you want to add that to your design. All right, well, OrbitKit actually will automatically now go and update these designs for you automatically here. So if you change the titles, if you change any of the metadata here for a design, including the bulk changes, OrbitKit will sync this stuff to all of the POD platforms. You don't have to go through to 5 or 6 different POD platforms and update them independently. That's one of the key things. Or if you want to change your pricing, that's another good example. So let's say you realize, I want to modify. I want to enable a new product. So Redbubble actually published. They just started adding a bunch of new products, like duvets and comforters are showing up soon. You can now add this stuff to your blueprint. Let's just say you wanted to do that, or maybe you wanted to change, I say, the pricing for something. Let's make our markup 30%. You can edit your blueprint now.
That's so nice. And then it automatically updates everything, right?
Yeah, you have to tell, since OrbitKit doesn't know that you updated your blueprint, you do have to go and here and say, let's click through to the blueprint here. That one. And there's this sync exhibits button.
Okay.
And you can now all of the designs that we've published already will pick up these changes that you just made to the blueprint.
Don't you guys wish we had that for merch? Like merch will tell us like, oh, you can't say the word pop socket, or you can't do this, or you can't do that. And I have so many designs, you have to like manually go through one by one and change one word in all your designs. With here, you just change the blueprint and it changes it. It's so nice.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot more I could talk about, but
we'll probably just have to have you back on and do like an advanced session for like part 2 or something.
Sure.
But thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming on today. And guys, if you have questions, just like he said, there's that chat thing on there on OrbitKit. You can ask any questions. You can post comments on this video, and then we'll be sure to answer them. Or if we don't know the answer, get Jeff to answer them for you. But I think this has been very helpful, so I really appreciate it.
Sure. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Well, go have breakfast with your family, and thanks again for creating this tool. It's really, really helped me, and I know it's helped a lot of other people in the community.
All right, great. No, you're welcome. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you all for watching. We'll have Rick on now in a couple minutes. All right. Bye, Jeff.
Bye.